The Niagara College Knights acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. We commit to honoring both the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples as we continue the traditional sport on this land. At this time, we will kindly ask you to please rise, if you're able, and remove your hats for the playing of O Canada. It is now time to meet tonight's starting lineup, beginning with the rhythmic Humber Hawks. From Parkview Red Ready, number 1, Misha Osmana. From Toronto, number 2, Michelle Francis. From Belleville, from Markham, number 5, Josh Nicholson. From Brampton, number 8, Kyle Ray Phillips. From Mississauga, number 11, Alec Loney. From Scarborough, number 15, Alex Sagi. And from Ottawa, number 16, David Blackmore. The coach for the Humber Hawks is Wayne Wilkins. Now please remember, attention to the public as we introduce the starting lineup for your Niagara Knights. From Hamilton, number 1, Noah Tremblay. From Welland, number 4, Riley Moore. From St. Catharines, number 8, Ashton Newitt. From Hamilton, number 9, Matthew Brown. From St. Catharines, number 10, Micah Newitt. From Peterborough, number 11, Nick Kirby. From Surrey, BC, number 12, Rowan Reddick. And from Woodstock, Ontario, number 13, Matthew Tackett. The head coach for Niagara Knights is Steve Stone. We now hand it over to our head official to get the game underway.
Talented Humber Hawks team. Good afternoon and welcome back inside the Simply Financial Athletic Center here in Welland, Ontario for this OCAA men's volleyball matchup as the Niagara College Knights taking on the 4-time reigning champ Humber Hawks here at home. The Knights looking for a statement win here at NC against 6-0 undefeated Humber Hawks. The women falling earlier today. The Knights looking to change that here with Mitch Chirpy starting things off. I'm Noel Vogel alongside me. Alex Vandenhack with you. And right off the bat, Tremblay couldn't keep it up. Great run out of the middle from Lonnie. So back serving, fifth-year setter Josh Nicholson for the Hawks. His floater passed up by Newitz. Perron's going to go to the middle. Redekop off the block and out of play. And the NC Knights respond with a big kill from the first-year Rowan Redekop.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Niagara looking to get a statement win here. Just like their women counterparts, Humber's only lost one set this season to Redeemer.
That one off all the way to the back, and the Hawks are going to have to play over a free ball. Redekop will take hands. Perron to the outside. Tactics over the block and on the back line. Great serve from Rowan Redekop. Forced that free ball, and the Knights use it to perfection. Redekop once again. This time it's passed up by Blackmore. Nicholson's going to go back to the middle. Alec Lonnie once again. That long length out of the middle, 6'5" from Mississauga. And he's got 2 kills in set number 1 here. Here's David Blackmore now. 4th-year Ottawa, Ontario native. He sends that one out the back. And he's got an excellent serve, that spinner. A lot of ace potential behind that one, but this time misses out the back. So here's Matty Tactics now for NC. His spinner also at the back, so NC returns the favor with a miss serve.
If you're just joining us here, service errors in the last matchup between the Knights women's versus the Hawks was certainly an issue.
Lonnie finds the net, and back-to-back service errors for the Hawks. And it's 4-3 NC. Ashton Newitz now going to go back serving.
If you're just joining us now, the Humber women defeating the Knights 3-0 in the women's match.
Sadoff passes off the net, and Humber going to have to roll that one over. Great spot by Gray Phillips, just over top of the block. And finds the hole in the defense, and will side out once again for Humber. Michael McAlpine now serving. His spinner just out. That was a really close call. That ball just past the line on the end. And so now here's Riley Orr getting the start this afternoon. The Welland, Ontario native, first year playing here for the Knights. His spinner into the net. So another missed serve for NC. So now back for Humber, it's Kyle Gray Phillips. High toss spinner into the net. So another missed serve. We'll see if Matty Perron can change things here as he goes back behind the service line for the Knights.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the 3rd service error by the Hawks.
Perron serve, that one's in. Nicholson to the middle, just missed times. And they're going to say NC was on the net. As here Francis was able to reel in the Knights block and able to win the point. He'll go back to serve. So here's Francis. Great pass by Mike Newitz to the middle. Redekop off the top of the block and down. Owen Redekop getting a couple of looks early, and he's taking advantage of them.
Mitch Chirpy will have the serve here, the heart and soul of this Knights team.
He's been excellent on the outside for the Knights this season. That time he puts the serve into the net. Back-to-back games at home for Mitch Chirpy. Collected 10 or more kills, and he's looked strong on that outside. Perron, this time's going to go to Ashton Newitz. He'll wipe it off the block, and NC will try once again. This time they go to Redekop. Hanging in the air, was just able to get it over. Blackmore off the net, couldn't find the back corner. And NC will win that long rally. But when you have such talent on the outside and you have to choose between Mitch Chirpy, Ashton Newitz, Micah Newitz, and you have guys off the bench as well. Matty Tactics playing on the right side over Wisdom Smith today. Just such a deep lineup for NC. Blackmore offhand with his left from the right side. Able to find the hole in the Knights defense. What an athletic play from Blackmore. He's now going to go serve.
You mentioned Wisdom Smith coming off the bench. Last week here against Redeemer, Niagara had a lot of success with their smaller lineups, and they're going back to it without Wisdom Smith. 6'8" from Winnipeg.
Passed up off the net by Micah Newitz. Ashton Newitz will help out. Tactics really tight, and he's followed through, found himself in the net. So Humber takes the lead 9-8 here in the first set. Here's Blackmore's serve. Chirpy passes it out. And an ace for David Blackmore. And we talked about his serving ability behind the line. What a tough spinner he's got for the Hawks. And NC need to figure it out here. Blackmore once again. Chirpy's able to pass this time. Perron outside. Tactics! Yes, sir. Finds the back line. And Tactics with the response out of the right side.
Beautiful spot there by Tactics. Cutting lead down to 1. And he will have the serve right here.
His spinner, a good one. And Nicholson chasing, will throw it to the outside, and Humber's going to play over a free ball. Ashton Newitz on the outside, right through the double block. That's a hard feat to do between Loney and McAlpine, 6'5" and 6'8". And Ashton Newitz is able to squeak it right through, and NC ties it up here at 10.
Ashton Newitz had a great game back here last week against Redeemer.
Outside, McAlpine. And Trombley's able to play it off the deflection. Tactics out of the back row. Finds the back left corner. Matty Tactics getting it done early. And he's going to continue serving here now. Knights up 1. Tactics this time can't find the court. And so the Hawks will side out. It will be Alec Loney serving for Humber. Loney spinner. Newitz over pass straight down on the party ball from Nazir Francis. Loney serving once again for the Hawks. Chirpy's able to pass. Perron's going to go to Ashton Newitz on the outside, and he responds. Able to beat Francis on the inside of that block, and Ashton Newitz has got a couple kills.
Yeah, picture perfect play there by Newitz, as well as really the whole Knights team. Newitz with the kill.
Ashton Newitz, his floater, too deep out the back. And NC hands the point back to Humber. So here's Michael McAlpine, Belleville, Ontario native. His spinner just comes off the top tape. Able to keep it alive was Humber. And Bradley Moore trying to play it out of the middle. They'll reset. Tactics out of the C ball. Can't find the court. And a scramble play as that pass off the serve went right over, and Humber was just able to keep it alive. What a stretch from Zaghi, who was fully stretched out to keep that one alive. Humber played over the free ball and were able to win the point. The Calpine. Chirpy with a great pass. He'll get it on the outside. Block a little late from Humber, and Chirpy's able to beat it. Plays it off the top of Francis and out of play. NC siding out. Riley Orr now going back to serve. 0 for 1 on the day behind the service line for Riley Orr. This one is good. Blackmore passes. They'll go to Francis out of the middle. What a great run. Picture perfect. Put it on a platter to Josh Nicholson, and Francis put it down. Humber signing out. Gray Phillips now back serving for the Hawks. His high toss. Passed up by Ashton Newitz. Takix out of the back row. Matty Takix is finding his stride here in set number 1. And another kill for him. Matty Perron gonna go serve.
Matty Takix, like you said, really making his presence felt. And the scary thing for the rest of the LCAA is that this is only year 2.
The Calpine rolls that one over the back row. Tremblay read it well. Redekop out of the middle. What a swing from Rowan Redekop. Gray Phillips was diving over, got a touch. NC ties it up at 15. Here's Matty Perron. Great serve. And that's an ace for Matty Perron. Knights take back the lead 16-15 here in set number 1.
Yeah, Niagara with a great start here so far with the 1-point lead against the heavy favorite, Humber Hawks. 16-15. Niagara looking to give Humber their second set loss of the season.
Perron, a deep serve. Nicholson chasing, and Blackmore's going to have to throw over a free ball. Perron, Takix, it was tight, had to recycle it. NC gets another chance. Chirpy off the net, will roll over. Blackmore will play it. The Calpine out of the back row. What a great get by Perron. Takix coming across, just out of play. Never mind. Head referee changed the call, said it was in play. So NC takes the point. Now leading by 2 here. Wayne Wilkins, head coach of Humber, not happy with the call. Perron serve, passed up. McAlpine again. That one he had to chase for, but he got up. That 6'8" frame out of the right side.
Yeah, Coach Wilkins may have had an argument with that last point there. Very, very close.
I think Wilkins was mostly just upset with the call being overturned from the lineskeeper calling it out. Originally, they're going to say off the antenna from Matty Takix, so Humber ties it up now, 17 all. And we talked about last game for the women's and how much experience they have out of the coaching sector. Out of the middle, Lonnie with a big block. And the men's team with Coach Wayne Wilkins, 29 years as the head coach of this Humber Hawks program.
Yeah, he nearly triples the amount of experience that the Hawks have combined. Humber has obviously been a powerhouse in both the men's and the women's volleyball programs.
Serve from Francis goes into the net. It's crazy to think how much success they've had over the past 25, 30 years. Has been all with 2 Wilkins behind the coaching bench, and Wayne Wilkins as well as his brother and Chris Wilkins, the head coach of the women's Humber team. So 18 all, it's Mitch Chirpy serving. Blackmore was just fixing some equipment here. We'll get back underway. Chirpy, high tossing spinner. Blackmore passes, Nicholson tight. Blackmore! Wow! Did he fly out to the left side? And what a play from David Blackmore. And a great set from Josh Nicholson as well, who's going to check out, just delaying that set, and was able to leave the Knights too slow to get over on that block. So we'll see Caleb Hoyt check in for Nicholson, and he'll serve. Newitt's passes, they'll go to Redekop. Wow! Rowan Redekop out of the middle. Forces that one down and sides out for NC. He's going to check out now for Jack Drummond, who'll come in and serve.
One thing to note, both teams still have both timeouts. This one has been pretty close throughout. I think the biggest lead has probably been 2 either way. Both coaches looking to use those timeouts.
Drummond's serve is in. Nicholson to the middle. Lonnie tried to roll that one over. Tight to the net. Touches out of bounds. And Riley Orr out of the middle is now getting his opportunity. And the Knights are going to force a timeout from the Humber Hawks. And NC doing a great job finding their middles right now. Riley Orr with a kill. Rowan Redekop with a kill just before. And the Hawks haven't been able to tame them thus far.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny is Niagara is up by 1, and you know what? They've got 5 service errors. So the fact that they're up, regardless, is impressive. But while committing 5 service errors is remarkable, because this isn't even the best that we can get out of Niagara. One thing to note, we haven't seen Wisdom Smith yet. We know that Steve Stone has liked to play small. With him coming off the bench, we're going to get a replay coming up.
Just taking a look at that point that led us to the timeout as Bonnie tried to fix that. It was a great read by Ashton Newitz, and Perron tight to the net. Humber didn't expect that ball to go to the middle as Riley Orr was right there. And he dropped the hammer on the Hawks, and NC now leading 2019. Jack Drummond will continue to serve here for the Knights. Drummond serve off the tape and ace. Jack Drummond out of the timeout gives the Knights a 2-point lead. NC looking for an uncharacteristic first set win here against the Humber Hawks.
Yeah, Humber's only lost 1 set this season.
Blackmore passes, they'll go to McAlpine on his offside. Great reach by him, is able to play it off the block and out of bounds. And a strong set out for Humber. They needed that one to kill the momentum. Jack Drummond's gonna check out. It'll be Blackmore serving for the Hawks. Blackmore came off the tape. Sherpy was still able to keep it up. Tactics out of the back row. Humber keeps it alive. They'll throw over a free ball. Can NC use it? Mike Ganowitz, Perron, Tactics! Yes, sir! Right between the seams. NC leads 22-20. Ashton Newit's gonna go back to serve. Now we'll see that change to bring in Wisdom Smith for some height near up at the net. And they'll bring in Leland Parento as well to keep 3 attackers up at the net for the Knights. So here is Leland Parento serving for NC. Pass up off the net. Nicholson will have to throw that one over. Gray Phillips, great get by Mitch Chirpy. Wisdom Smith off the block. Tremblay keeps it alive. Chirpy out of the back row. Nicholson with the dig. Sadaf will take hands. McAlpine off the net. It's still up. Out of play. Knights take the point. 23-20. they're going to reverse the call here. They say NC was on the net. Wow, what a big momentum shifter that would have been.
2-point swing right there.
So NC goes from going up 2-3, now only being up 1. So here is Alec Lonnie behind the line. Ashton Newitt's overpass. And you can't give that to Kyle Gray Phillips. He puts it straight down, and Humber ties it at 22. Steve Stone's going to call his first timeout.
Good timeout there. He's still got one more in his back pocket for the Knights.
What an unfortunate break for NC. That ball was kept alive. Great defense from the Knights. And Lonnie had sent that one all the way out the back. And NC was caught on the net. So Humber took the point, and now they tie things up at 22 apiece.
Well, that's a couple of points now in this one where they've reversed the call in favor of Humber, as we'll get a replay of the reversed call.
Let's take a look at this one, Alex. It was played up off the net, and Lonnie was right there. Wisdom Smith tried to come across to just put some pressure on that middle attack, but he came down and just grazed the net. So tough break for NC, but nonetheless, they're going to have to find a way to win here in set number 1. We're tied at 22.
Well, this is a game of inches, and likely that call, or reversal, I should say, will likely play an outcome on the result.
Alec Lonnie out of bounds. Point Steve Stone. Out. He ices the server out of the timeout. So here is Ashton Newitz now. NC with a 1-point lead. Looking to push through here and take set number 1 over the undefeated Humber Hawks. McAlpine to the middle. Great response. Francis signs out for the Humber Hawks. So McAlpine's now going to go back and serve. His spinner. And Micah Newitz will overpass. Humber will take it. McAlpine out of the back row. Ashton Newitz got hands on it. NC's going to be able to play it over. Chirpy comes across and rolls that one to the back row. Out of the back row. This time from Humber. It's blocked out of the middle. Blackmore soaring out of the pipe position. Riley Orr says not today. Huge point, NC. Set point, but not before Coach Wayne Wilkins is going to take his second timeout. Humber down 1 here in set number 1.
Yeah, smart call to ice the server. Niagara 1 point away from before potentially handing out Humber their second set loss of the season, which that set loss came to Redeemer, who's 2-3, and one of those wins coming against the Knights right here in this building last week, as we'll get a replay.
Wow, what a get on the come down. Chirpy and Riley Orr are able to come together out of the middle in a huge block as Blackmore, who's been getting his way all through the first set, gets stuffed at the net, and NC now with a 1-point advantage and set point here.
Yeah, Riley Orr saying, get that garbage out of here.
So out of the timeout, it's going to be Riley Orr who will serve.
Wisdom Smith staying in here. Coach Stone electing to play with a bigger lineup here.
So here's Orr, his serve. A good one. Nicholson's going to have to throw it deep. Great decision. He finds the back line. Knights caught off guard as Ashton Newitz was creeping in. But Josh Nicholson goes out the back, and now we're tied at 24.
1 timeout remaining for the Knights.
So here's Gray Phillips for the Hawks. His serve's passed up by Sherpy. Parento to the middle. Looked like it went off the head of Nicholson. They'll try again on the outside. Chirpy through the block and finds the back line. NC with set point once again. Now we'll see those substitutions reverse. Parento will check out. Perron and Tactics will come in. Wisdom Smith also off to the bench. Matty Perron going to go back to serve. Back and forth set number one here. NC with set point. Here's Matty Perron. Nicholson's going to go to Blackmore on the outside. Ask the question, he answers. And he did that time for Humber when they needed it most. 25 all.
Keep an eye on how Steve Stone will use his final timeout here.
Here's Francis Chirpy. Passed that one off the net. Perron chasing for it. Tactics off the top of the block. Humber will play with Blackmore. Off hands, out of play. NC not happy. They're looking for a double hit. And Humber now set point here. They're going to make a substitution. As Paul Manna will check in and serve.
Steve Stone did not like the call.
He's going to call that timeout now. That final timeout for the Knights. 26-25, Humber leads here in set number one. If this is anything to show for the sets to follow, we got a game on our hands.
Oh, 100%. Obviously, Humber has been dominant, coming in with a 6-0 record and only losing the one set to Redeemer. However, Niagara putting up a great fight so far against these Hawks. And the thing is, they're 1 point away from tying this up. They've committed 5 service errors. So if you cut that down to maybe 2 or 3, we're in the second set talking about how Niagara's up 1-0.
NC has done a great job up at the net, both offensively and defensively, against this very tall and skilled Humber Hawks lineup. So as we come out of the timeout, it's going to be the substitute Paul Manna back serving for the Hawks here with set point. So here comes his serve. Passed up by Micah Newitz. It's tight to the net. Redekop had to push that one over. They'll go back to Blackmore. He's rejected this time on the outside. Off the net this time, they'll roll one over. Perron's able to get it. Blackmore again. Third time's the charm. He finishes the job. And the Knights came a point away multiple times here in set number one to take the first. But Humber fights their way back and will take a 1-0 set lead here at the Simply Financial Athletics Center.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like there from the Knights. I mean, taking Humber to extra time is incredible considering, like we've said it a bunch, they've only lost one set all season. And committing the 5 service errors, they can cut that back and get a couple more guys going. I like Niagara's chances. But if Niagara wants to be a championship level team, which I think they're built to do, they're going to have to take out Humber somehow, some way. So getting battle tested now is great, especially this early into the season.
For the Knights was almost a perfect set, just struggled with a couple of service errors behind the line. As Humber had 3 in that first set, NC with 5. Just trying to cut those down. Limit errors up at the net. They had a couple where they were caught on the net. That gave Humber those 2-point swings, which got them back into it late there. So the Knights can definitely build off that set number one, even though they came up short. For Humber, now they know what they're up against, and the Knights a very good opponent here today.
Yeah, these two teams will match up again Wednesday, January 15th at Humber at 8 o'clock. Seems like this one here is going to be a classic. But there's lots of time to be played left in this one. Niagara looking to tie this one up in the second set. I've mentioned a few times the deployment of Wisdom Smith. Obviously, he's very raw. He's an explosive talent, but you go back to last week here against Redeemer, didn't have a particularly great game. Hasn't been deployed here too much. But like I said, he's a very raw talent. I think even towards the end of the season, his development is going to be something to watch because he's got the raw skill set to be great.
Well, and who's replaced him today? And Matty Takix had a really good first set. The way he was attacking the ball out of the right side. And he's going to start here again in set number 2. As NC will come out with the same lineup they did in the first, and Humber will do the same. No changes on either side as we get set for set number 2 here. Humber squeaking out the first set win, 27-25.
Well, for Niagara, why would you change anything? Obviously, you lost, but you held the best team in the league into extra time.
So Humber looking to win set number 2 here and take a 2-0 lead. NC looking to tie things up at 1. Josh Nicholson will start things off. That pass from Newitz a little too far off the net, and Perron didn't connect that time with Redekop, and it was read well out of the middle by Humber. Nicholson took a little bit off it. Sherpy coming across, tight to the net once again, and Alec Lonnie puts it straight down. Humber off to a quick 2-0 start here.
Building off that momentum, ending off that first set. Looked like Niagara was in the driver's seat, but Humber was able to come back.
Nicholson took too much off that one and will send it into the net. So NC will now take serve here with Mitch Sherpy. Here's Sherpy's serve, a good one. Passed up by Setoff to the outside. Blackmore right in between the seams. Just a straight killer on the outside for Humber. And another kill for him in this one. He'll go back to serve now. Here's Blackmore's serve. He finds the net. So another service error for the Hawks here in set number 2. Now time for Rowan Redekop to serve. Blackmore passes off the net. Gray Phillips out of the left side, and a miscommunication there. As Perron tried to leave it for Sherpy, and he was a little step behind. So that ball drops, and Humber will side out 4-2. Here's Alec Lonnie, his serve. Can't find the court. So 3 straight service errors for the Hawks. And now NC will set up Matty Takix to serve. Down 1 here. Takix also finds the net, returns the favor. Kind of how we started set number 1. A lot of missed serves here early on. Here's Michael McAlpine. Off the tape. What a get by Mike Newitz. Ashley Newitz going to have to fix off the net. He rolls that one over. McAlpine out of the back row. Takix with the touch. And couldn't reach it. So Hawks take a 6-3 lead here in set number 2. Here's McAlpine, off the tape, Perron got it. Tactics will go to the outside, Ashton Newitz trying to tip that one over the block, and Nicholson read it. Way too tight to the net. Tough set from Segui, and he finds the antenna. So NC catches a break there.
Yeah, that's the first point for Niagara in this set, not coming off the service error. Humber committing 3 so far in this first set, matching their total from the first.
Ashton Newitz, serve, pass, Tremblay, what a dig. And Newitz is able to put it over. Nicholson, Gray Phillips on the outside. Huge block by Riley Orr. Just what NC needed. Trying to build some momentum here in set number 2, down 1. Here's Ashton Newitz once again behind the service line. Floater is in, Gray Phillips tight to the net, Nicholson. Tip that one over, just out. As Newitz put it over on 2.
Smart play there by Nicholson to let that one drop.
So now here's Kyle Gray Phillips serving for the Humber Hawks. 7-5 they lead here in set number 2. Looking to go up 2-0. Over the Knights, great pass by Ashton Newitz. That was a tough serve. Tactics out of the back row. Perron. Chirpy on the outside, just out. NC recovering well here in this set off the blocks and off Humber attacks. They just can't find the court right now on their looks on the outside. Here is Gray Phillips once again. Another bullet of a serve. Micah Newitz responds to it. Chirpy down the line, McAlpine with the dig. Blackmore tight to the net, tried to play it down. Perron took out his hands, that one out of play. And the Knights will side out. Here's Riley Orr. Or serve, a good one. Passed up by set off to the outside. Single block for Blackmore. And he puts it straight down. Nothing NC can do about that one. Perron left all alone on the block on the right side. There's Nazir Francis for Humber. Now serving his spinner. Passed up by Chirpy. Perron chasing, will push it back to Chirpy on the outside. He tools it off the block. NC needs to start getting Mitch Chirpy going here.
Yeah,
set number 2.
It's been pretty much night and day coming back from the first set. Mitch Chirpy was arguably the team's best player in that first set, and he's been shut down. And you have to give Humber a ton of credit because he's an incredible player.
Perron, what a serve, but matched by Gray Phillips. Perron to Redekop. Drops on the NC side. Couldn't recover off of that block. And 10-7 now Humber leads. Here's Josh Nicholson now for the Hawks. Spinner finds the net. Another service error for Humber here in set number 2. That's number 4. Half of NC's points so far in this set. Here's Mitch Chirpy now serving for the Knights. Chirpy passed up by Gray Phillips. Nicholson's going to push to the outside. Blackmore! Wow! David Blackmore paints the line. And sides out once again for Humber.
Taven Blackmore is really taking over this game right now, the 4th-year player from Ottawa.
Incredible leaping ability on the outside. And He's now serving once again for the Hawks. Chirpy, a tough one, was able to get it up. Tactics off the block and out of play. Matty Tactics says, I'll take one right back. He sides out for NC. Here's Rowan Redekop now. Redekop's floater passed up by Setoff. Out of the middle. Wow! Blackmore once again, this time out of the pipe position.
Even Coach Wayne Wilkins can get a smile out of that. Taven Blackmore, like we've just said, just completely taking over this game. Niagara does not have an answer.
Here's Alec Lonnie. He puts it into the net. NC really staying in this game now with Humber's missed serves. They're going to need to find a way to stop Taven Blackmore up at the net, as Matty Tactics will now go back to serve. Blackmore overpass, just kept alive. What a play by Nicholson. That looked like it was going to clear the net, and he was able to keep it in, and NC couldn't react quick enough, and Humber able to win the point, 13-10.
I'm interested to see how Wisdom Smith is deployed here, especially with Taven Blackmore playing as well as he is. Need a little more insurance on that interior.
The Calpine serve pass, Tactics out of the back row, able to keep it up. Couldn't get it over on three, 14-10 Humber now. Sleet's starting to slip away a little bit from the Knights.
Yeah, this one definitely feels like it should be larger than a 4-point deficit, but with the 5 service errors by Humber, it's kept Niagara in this game, really.
Stoppage here as Matty Perron will clean up a wet spot on the Knights side. It'll be Michael McAlpine serving once again for Humber, but before that, Coach Steve Stone's going to take a timeout. His first of 2 here in the second set. NC just have been struggling to win the net battles here in this set. Taven Blackmore has just been incredible for Humber.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised Steve Stone waited to use the first time out here, because really besides the 5 service errors, it's been all Humber creating a lot of momentum, and with the service errors, you can't really build momentum off of it because it's a dead ball right away. Whereas you can't make those big plays. We're going to get a replay here of the last point.
What a keep by Josh Nicholson, and just able to push it through the seam. That time was Gray Phillips out of the front row, but that ball was nearing over the top of the tape, and Nicholson able to get up and push that one to the outside. He's been excellent as well for Humber.
Yeah, he found the hole there. It's like almost like a ground ball up the infield between the second baseman and the shortstop.
So here is Michael McAlpine out of the timeout for Humber. His spinner, a deep one. Mike Inuit's passes. Tactics out of the back row. Come on. Matty Tactics drops it right in front of Blackmore. And the Knights are going to Matty Tactics a lot here.
Yeah, Taven Blackmore getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine there.
So here's Ashton Inuit's now serving for the Knights. Blackmore reaching for it. Ashton Inuit took a little bit off that one, and Gray Phillips put too much on that attack, and it goes out the back. And NC now cutting the lead down to 2 here.
That's back-to-back points there for Niagara coming out of that timeout.
Here's Ashton Inuit once again. Short serve. Wow, Humber's able to keep it alive. NC can use this free ball. Perron puts it down. And McAlpine got down to get that dig. Tremblay, what a get with one hand. Tactics on the outside. Blocked at the net by Gray Phillips. And Francis coming together.
Yeah, I think in that huddle, Steve Stone made an adjustment to go to more of the chip shot versus the heater, trying to catch Humber off guard. Nearly caught them off guard there, but Humber able to recover, getting it back up to 3.
Gray Phillips, his scorching spinners, passed up by Chirpy, gets it on the outside. Humber is able to keep it up. Blackmore will play over a tight one. Perron was able to get it. What a reach by Takix. It's still alive to the middle. It's got a touch, but it wasn't enough. As Francis drops it down out of the middle, 16-12.
Yeah, great effort there by Micah to dive at that one.
So here's Gray Phillips for Humber. His serving has been excellent. This time takes a little bit off of it. And Micah do its passes. Or out of the middle. Set was a little bit low, but he made do of it. Able to push that one right through the block. And he's not going to go back serving for the Knights here, down 3. Passed up by Gray Phillips. Wow, what a set. Push it all the way over to McAlpine, and he finishes the job. This here, Francis back for Humber now. Here's Francis. Great pass by Micah Newitz. They'll go to Chirpy on the outside. That's more like it for Mitch Chirpy. As he hammers that one cross court and wins the point for NC. And it's back and forth right now. 3-point lead still for Humber. Here's Matty Perron.
When Mitch Chirpy gets going, this Niagara offense can compete with anybody.
Perron's deep serve, passed up, out of the back row. Wow, how did Gray Phillips get that one over? Redicott off the block. Wipes it off the hands of Alec Lonnie. And a great heads-up play by Rowan Redicott out of the middle.
Niagara bringing it down to 2.
That set though for Kyle Gray Phillips was a little bit ahead. He was running off of 1 foot out of the pipe position. NC was able to keep it alive and will win the point. Perron serving deep once again. Nicholson, Lonnie blocked it out of play. Lonnie tools it off the block, this time out of the right side. Nicholson's gonna go back to serve for Humber. Short float from Nicholson. Chirpy out of the right side this time. Off the top of the block and out of play.
One thing to watch down the stretch here. Humber's got 2 timeouts. Niagara has got 1, using the first one earlier in this contest, or in this set, excuse me.
Here's Mitch Chirpy. Blackmore off of the block and out of play. Did get a lot of looks out in the front row. He's going to go back to serve now for Humber. He's just as dangerous out of the back row as he is near up at the net. Especially with these serves. That toss was a little bit too far ahead. I cheeks it as he puts that one into the net. Another service error for Humber.
Service error number 6.
So we'll see that same substitution. Jack Drummond will check in for Rowan Redicott. He's going to go and serve for NC. He's perfect behind the service line for the Knights in set number 1. So here's Drummond's serve. Floaters pass. Nicholson will go to the outside. McAlpine. Perron got the dig on it. Chirpy will help it out over to Newitt. And set that one into the net. And Humber is now pushing 5 here. So Paul Bann is going to check back in for the Hawks. He's going to go back and serve, as he did in set number 1. His spinner finds the net. 7 service errors for Humber. And we're going to see those same substitutions as well from Steve Stone. Leland Parenteau is about to check in, as well as Wisdom Smith.
Yeah, 7 service errors for Humber. Really giving Niagara life in this second set. I don't think they've played particularly well, but Humber is giving them extra chances.
Sticking around here late are the Knights. Can't go down 2-0 here. As Leland Parenteau will come back and serve for Niagara College. His floater passed up by McAlpine. Nicholson, what a push to the outside. Gray Phillips looking for tip, won't come. So NC within 1 now here, 2019.
Well, that's the thing with all these services. Like I said, I don't think Niagara has had a particularly spectacular second set, but you're only down 1 here.
Parenteau can't clear the net. So NC gives away 1 there, and now Humber pushing 4 here, up 2.
Second service error on the Knights in this second set.
Here's McAlpine. Ashton Newitt's passes. Parenteau to Orr out of the middle. That one's way gone. Came off the hands of McAlpine. Riley Orr again answers the call out of the middle. Ashton Newitt's not going to back serving. NC holding on to this 1-point deficit. That one through the hands, an ace for Ashton Newitt.
That's one that Sadov would probably like to have back.
Nonetheless, the Knights tie it up at 21 apiece. Here's Ashton Newitt once again. His floater looking for the same spot, but can't find the court this time. And now Humber gonna make a couple of substitutions. We'll see Caleb Hoyt check back in, as well as Nathan Yeager. For some height there at the front row. Back serving is Kyle Gray Phillips. Finds the net. NC ties it up once again. 8 service errors now for Humber in this set. Riley Orr serving now for NC.
Humber with 2 timeouts, Niagara with 1. Keep that in mind down the stretch.
Here is Riley Orr. He sends it into the net as well. Chance not taken advantage of from NC. So Nazir Francis will serve for Humber. Another set down to the wire here. Humber looking to take a 2-0 lead. Parenteau to the outside. Wisdom Smith drops the hammer. And the Knights tie it up at 23. We'll get those substitutions again. Perron and Tactics going to check back in.
Another tightly contested set here. And this one, the last one, going into extra time.
So Matty Perron now serving for the Knights. Here is Perron's serve, a good one. Blackmore got out to keep it alive. Blocked by Redicott. Not today. Rowan Redicott with a huge block out of the middle. And Humber takes their first of 2 timeouts. NC with set point here, 24-23. They lead once again. They're 1 point away here in another set. They need to pull this one out here, Alex.
What a beautiful play there by Rowan Redicott. And this almost feels like a carbon copy of last set, having it very close. And like you said, this one's a must win because you can't go down to any team, let alone Humber, who's a powerhouse. As we'll get a replay here of the last point.
It's a great serve by Manny Perron. Boy, went to the middle and solo block from Rowan Redicott. One-on-one with Alec Lonnie, and he got the better of him.
Saying, get that garbage out of here.
So NC now with set point here, trying to tie things up at home against the undefeated Humber Hawks.
I'll tell you what, Niagara is definitely playing ahead of their 3-2 record. And we had mentioned that in the last cast that we did, how we think Niagara is definitely better than what the record shows.
So here we go out of the timeout. It's Manny Perron serving. Hoyt to the outside. Blackmore. Who else was Humber going to go to? And he delivers once again out of the timeout. We're tied at 24.
You need your big dogs to be the big dogs, and that is exactly what just happened in that last play. Great play there by Blackmore.
So Josh Nicholson back into the game here for Humber, and he'll go back to serve. Nicholson's floater, passed by Ashton Newitz. Perron lifts it up for Chirpy on the outside. Mitch Chirpy once again gives the night set point here, and he's got a chance to do it from behind the service line. But before that, Humber's going to take their second timeout. Trying to ice Chirpy here. NC once again with another chance to tie things up.
Yep, they had the chance to win the first round, as we're going to get a replay here. And they let that go. Niagara trying not to make that same mistake.
Great set by Perron, had to come across a little bit. And did well to get the height on that for Mitch Chirpy, coming out of the offside on the right side this time.
Mitch Chirpy in his wheelhouse, it feels like. That happens for Chirpy about every other play, really. He's been great, especially in this second set. He doesn't look like a guy who necessarily be dominant, but dominant he is.
So another chance here for the Knights to put this set away. 25-24, they lead out of the timeout.
Tavon Blackmore is going to do everything in his power to reject the Knights' bid for a first set win.
Chirpy puts it into the net. And Humber able to ice Mitch Chirpy. Blackmore now in the back row. He'll serve for the Hawks. Steve Jones going to take a timeout first and see if he can ice Blackmore from behind the line.
Yeah, good timeout there by Coach Stone. Obviously, you can't bring them into the next set with you. We're knotted up here at 25. One huge problem for Humber, Noah, has been the service errors with 8. Niagara has been better with only 4, but obviously they'd like to get that number down to the 2 or 3 mark.
Knights going to hope for another service error here from the Hawks. Just like in set number 1, we're tied back at 25 all.
Yeah, it would be a shame for Niagara to fall into very, very highly contested sets, especially to a service error, because Niagara was in the driver's seat, but with Chirpy's service error, we're now knotted up at 25.
And that's the thing about volleyball, is just sticking around till you near on that 25 points. That's what NC did. They, like you said, wasn't their best set of volleyball, but they're here now with a chance to tie things up. Tight at the net. Perron tried to keep it up and played it out of play. So Blackmore serving once again. He's got a chance here with set point. Humber trying to take a 2-0 lead.
No timeouts left for either of these teams.
Here comes Blackmore's serve. Mike Inuits with a great pass. Perron with the push. The outside. Tactics once again with a huge swing cross court. Just a great run from the Knights. As Blackmore, a tough server, Inuits was able to get a great pass to Perron, who disguised that set so well, able to get it to Tactics on the right side for the finish. Humber looking to take back the advantage. Chirpy with a huge dig. Ashton Inuits pushing deep. Nicholson keeps it alive. Gray Phillips resetting himself, will push that one over. Chirpy gonna help out with hands. Tactics tools it off the block. NC with the advantage. Set point once again, 27-26. Rowan Redekop with serve.
Niagara looking to beat their demons.
Blackmore passes. Gray Phillips on the outside. Redekop with the dig. Tactics, they go to him once again. Off the block, Nicholson keeps it up. McAlpine resetting, tools it off of Inuits. And Humber continues to respond here. 27-0 now.
I'll tell you what, Noah, this is definitely must-see TV.
Both teams unable to find that final point to put it away. Riley Orr out of the middle. Yes, gets over the block. NC again with set point here, 28-27. Will be Matty Tactics going to back behind the service line to serve for the Knights. Here is Tactics serve. Nicholson, McAlpine, down for Humber. And they tie it up once again, 28-all. So now here's Michael McAlpine for the Hawks. Spinner is good. Perron tight to the net. Riley Orr plays it off the block. They'll try once again. Inuits! Great push from Ashton Inuits. Humber not happy with that call, as they feel Inuits maybe caught that ball a little bit, but nonetheless, NC again with the advantage. Here's Ashton Inuits. Zadoff passes. They'll go back to the back row. Come on, Blackmore extends the game once again, 29-all.
This is incredible, man.
Not sure if the set will ever end. Back and forth this one has been.
I mean, I'm not complaining if it ever ends. As the official here is given an explanation of that last call.
So Gray Phillips now serving for the Hawks. Puts it out the back, and a service error from Humber, their 9th of the set. And has now given NC the advantage once again. Nicholson just getting some clarification. As will now sent to Riley Orr, his serve. A good one. Overpass. Ridicop. No touch. Looking for it. He hit it all the way into the broadcast booth. He almost took Alex's head off. But didn't get any touches. Ridicop trying to wipe that one off. So we're back tied up again at 30. Off the tape, Newitz with a great pass. They'll go to Chirpy on the outside. Blackmore, good hands. He'll try it this time, gets through. And now Humber has the advantage here, 31-30. Gives here Francis a chance here to take a 2-0 set lead for the Hawks. Ashton Newitz passes. Perron's going to go back to Chirpy. McAlpine with one hand able to keep it alive. Chirpy got a touch. Perron. Tactics from the back row. Yes, finds the line.
Wow. 31-31.
NC stretches it out once again. We're tied at 31. Matty Perron serving once again for the Knights. His spinner into the net. Tough miss for the Knights. Sets up Josh Nicholson, the Humber setter this time, to put it away here. Nicholson, soft float. Newitz will pass it with hands. Redicott blocked this time. Humber takes set number 2. And the Hawks will go into the third with a 2-0 set lead. Wow. Both times this game in set number 1 and set number 2, we've gone to extra points. This one going pretty much the whole distance, 33-31. The Humber Hawks take out a tight one. And now the Knights have to come back from 2-0 down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're down 2-0, but there's a lot to like. we'd mentioned before, I think in the last time out, how Niagara wasn't playing their best in that second set, but they got right down to the wire and nearly took out Humber. They were definitely the beneficiary of 9 missed serves, albeit going in to extra time. But you've taken the best team in the league to extra time twice. We're going to get a replay here of that last point.
And the Knights had multiple chances with the advantage in that set to put it away. And one-on-one, Redicott this time was bettered by Alec Lonnie. Solo block out of the middle to finish the job for Humber, now with a 2-0 lead.
Lonnie 6'5" from Mississauga in year 3. Obviously, you're down 2-0 for Niagara, but you have to think that the morale certainly is not super down, because obviously you know that you can compete with this team, and obviously winning 3 sets in a row is going to be a huge task, but you know that you can hang with this team. These two teams will play again on Wednesday, January 15th, which is going to be a thriller, I'm sure.
If you're just joining us here at the Simply Financial Athletics Center, my name is Noah Vogel, alongside me, Alex Vandenhack. With you, it's OCAA men's volleyball. Niagara College Knights against the Humber Hawks. Humber up 2-0, but doesn't really feel like it. Both sets going to extras. 27-25, Humber took out the first set. This last one, 33-31.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Humber, you're obviously glad you're up by 2 sets, but I think for them, they kind of have the feeling like, yeah, we're up by 2, but we could have played a lot better, because like we've mentioned before in the last set, they had 9 service errors, albeit going into extra time, but not even going to extra time is too many. And you're giving Niagara more chances, and their inexperience kind of showed because they had, I believe, 5 or 6 times chances to close it out, which they couldn't. Humber with 3 first-year players, and Niagara, has got about 10 or 11. So the experience is certainly in Humber's favor, and that showed an extra time there.
Just didn't have enough to finish the job in set number 2, but now it's do or die for the Knights, down 2-0 as we get ready for set number 3 here. NC gonna stay with the same lineup. Humber will match as we get set for the 3rd set here between the Humber Hawks and the Niagara College Knights.
And one thing I want to note is with Niagara taking these 2 sets into extra time, it almost feels like the next one kind of has to go to them because they've gotten fairly unlucky in the extra time. The last game here in this building was another thriller, even though the Knights lost. Certainly got to come here to the Simply Financial Athletic Center and catch the game.
So we'll start things off with Mitch Sherpy, who sends it out the back. So Humber takes the first point here in set number 3. Josh Nicholson now serving. Soft float, pass with hands by Mike Inuits. They'll go to Tactics, off the block and out of play. Matty Tactics starting off the way he finished there in set number 2. So Rowan Redicop now back serving for the Knights. His floater deep, passed up by Gray Phillips. Nicholson to the middle. Pushed over by Lonnie. Redicop was reaching in and overpassed it. Blackmore out of the right side this time. Perron, a good dig. Chirpy keeps it alive. Ashton Newitz will dump one over. Nicholson pushes. McAlpine on his offside. Great dig by Chirpy. Perron, Tactics, off hands. And Humber keeps it alive to the middle this time. What a rally this is. Newitz puts it down. Ashton Newitz out of the left side. Breaks through the Humber block, and NC comes out with a big point off that very long rally.
Seems like that's kind of been the, if we had to have one rally describe this game, it feels like that would describe it right there.
Here is Rowan Redicop. Humber out of the back row. Gray Phillips finds the back line and responds. Now 2-2. So here's David Blackmore serving for Humber. His spinner, Chirpy with the pass. They'll go to Tactics once again. Wow, Humber kept it alive. They'll push over a 3-ball. Chirpy out of the pipe, just got a little bit underneath it and sailed out the back. Great swing once again from Matty Tactics out of the right side. Humber just able to keep it up just barely. Blackmore serve. Ashton Newitz on the left side this time. He pushes one over. Nicholson plays it. McAlpine coming across with the right side. Newitz keeps it alive. Chirpy tried to get it over on third, but just couldn't break over the top of the net.
Good effort there by Chirpy, almost in the restricted area of the basketball.
Blackmore looking to continue his serving run here. Great pass by Micah Newitz. They'll go to Ashton on the outside. Just barely hangs on top of the net. The Knights need a side out here, down 5-2.
Ashton Newitz has done that a couple times where he's faked the spike and he kind of just threw a changeup in there, but not enough on that one.
Perron will go to Ashton Newitz again, but that set was a little too tight on the net. And NC not happy about it. They feel like Humber was over the net. Mitch Sherpy going to come over and talk to the head official. It'll stay Humber point. 6-2 they lead now. Blackmore continuing his run here behind the service line. Chirpy overpass. Right down by Gray Phillips. NC struggling to deal with Blackmore's serve, and Steve Stone's going to call a timeout. And Humber now 5-point lead here early on as we take a look at that last play. And Taven Blackmore is such a threat behind the service line and force a couple of bad passes from NC. This one, the worst of them, that overpass, and Gray Phillips says, thank you very much. He'll put it right down.
Yeah, slam dunk there pretty much for Loney. But like you said, you got to give a ton of credit to Blackmore forcing that play. As Niagara is down 7-2, and it's kind of right in that spot where it's still close enough to come back, but it can get out of reach in an instant.
NC just needs to figure out this Blackmore serve. Get a pass and good run up at the net. They need a side out here. They can't let Humber extend their lead early on here. So out of the timeout will be Taven Blackmore serving once again for Humber. His spinner, tough one. Chirpy's able to get it up. Perron will keep it alive. And Ashton Newitz will play it over up off the net. McAlpine out of the right side. Touches it out of play. So Humber again out of the timeout. They'll get that point, and we'll see Jack Drummond check in. He's going to come in for Mitch Chirpy, who just hasn't found his passing stride here in set number 3. So here's Blackmore once again. Like you know, it's passes off the net. Ashton trying to chase for it and plays it off the block and down. 9-2 now for the Hawks.
2-0 run here out of the timeout, excuse me, for Humber.
Here's Blackmore. Finally misses the serve, and NC gets away with it. And they'll make some substitutions. Perron's going to check out for Parento. Tactics also going out for Wisdom Smith.
Steve Stone electing to have more size on the court with Wisdom Smith checking in. He hasn't been used very much in this game. Struggled in the last home game versus Fanshawe, coming off the bench today for Niagara, which was a bit surprising.
So here's Leland Parento. Passed up. Humber's going to go to the middle. Alec Lonnie once again answers the bell. He's going to go back serving. Humber. 10-3 they lead here in set number 3, trying to sweep the Knights here at home. Lonnie's serve. Drummond passes off the net. Parental fixes and rolled over by Ashton Newitz. To go to the back row. Blackmore! Oh, wow, are you kidding me? He makes it look so easy out of the back row. Taven Blackmore. Can't do no wrong. And that's unstoppable if you're the Knights. NC digging themselves deeper in this hole now. And an ace for Alec Lonnie. 12-3, Humber leads in set number 3.
You almost have to think if another timeout is coming here soon.
Steve Stone only with one more timeout has to use it strategically here. And Mike Inuits has that one come off the hands and out of play.
6-1 run here for Humber coming out of that first timeout from Steve Stone.
Trombley's going to step in now for Mike Inuits and will pass this serve. Lonnie once again, ace, gets in front of Ashton Newitz, and Humber running away with this one now. And Steve Stone's gonna have to take his timeout now. 14-3, the Hawks leading here at set number 3, and the Knights just cannot deal with the serving pressure from Humber right now.
Yeah, it's looking like it's near Hail Mary time here for Humber, leaking a lot of oil. They were able to stay competitive in the first 2 sets, but it seems like Humber's experience is taking over as we're getting a replay of that last ace by Loney.
Practically perfect serve, and knew it's not really much you can do about it. And we talked about in the last set, it was so close, really, due to the fact that Humber missed 9 serves in set number 2. They've only missed 1 here early on. When they're getting their serves in, it's been basically unstoppable for the Knights. And Humber looking to continue to put on the pressure here. 14-3 they lead as we come out of the timeout. Humber looking to sweep the Knights here at home and continue their undefeated record. This time it's into the net. So the Knights will finally take serve back. It's 14-4. Ashton Newit's going to go back to serve.
Well, you remember in that second set, Noah, a lot of Niagara's points came off of the serving errors from Humber.
And Ashton Newitz forces that excellent play from Blackmore to keep that one alive. Now what can the Knights do with it? They go to Drummond on the outside, and he finds the net. Humber able to side out once again. They'll make some substitutions as Caleb Hoyt will check back in. Nathan Yeager will also come in. And Hoyt will go back to serve for the Hawks. So here is Hoyt's serve. It's passed up by Tremblay. Just out on the back line from Riley Orr out of the middle. That set was a little bit behind him.
Yeah, the wheels here for Niagara starting to come off here. No more timeouts for Steve Stone, having to use them very early.
That time serve into the net, so NC will side out. 16-5, Humber leading here in set number 3. So here's Riley Orr for the Knights. He's had a great game getting the start against this very high-powered Humber team. We'll go to the outside. Wisdom Smith shuts the door on Yeager. And the Knights trying to build some life here at set number 3. Anything can happen here, down 10.
Well, this is a game of rounds, and that block there is just an example of what Wisdom Smith can do when he's locked in.
Riley Orr, another good serve. And Hoyt tried to play it through the middle, and it was a tough one. The missed time attack from Nazir Francis kind of put him in a tough spot there, and now NC starting a little bit of a run here, looking to continue it.
3 straight here for Niagara.
Orr spinner. Overpass. NC's going to reverse it and try on the outside with Smith. Hoyt got a good dig. It'll be kept alive by Humber, and they'll put it over. Parento having to fix. He'll find Smith on the outside again. Blackmore puts it over on one. Parento, Smith pushes it over. Jaeger out of the left side. Anytime NC is able to get a look after a free ball, Humber just gets it straight up and they put it down. And Blackmore's going to check out now. We'll see the first appearance for Jake Butt here.
Well, you're going to have to make a difference now that Blackmore's out of the game, because he's been by far the MVP for Humber.
Gray Phillips can't find the line. Good eye from Ashton Newitz. He left that one out the back, and Perron and Matty Takis are going to check back in for the Knights. So Matty Perron going to serve now for the Knights. Down 9 here in a must-win set number 3. Humber came out firing in this set. We're up as much as 11. Perron's serve. An ace for the Knights. As Gray Phillips couldn't get that pass up off the spinner from Matty Perron. He'll go back to serve once again.
You've got it down to 8 here for Niagara. If they can build another 2 or 3 points consecutively, you're right back in this.
Perron's serve, an ace back-to-back. And quickly, Wayne Wilkins is going to take a timeout as the Knights have strung a couple points here together on the back of 2 aces from Matty Perron. And like I said, game's never over. NC still trying to fight back here in set number 3, down 17-10.
Well, that's a 6-1 run here for Niagara, cutting it down to 7. Crazier things have happened. This is a game of runs, as we've seen so far in this game, as we're going to get a replay here of that ace from Perron.
Just right through the seam, and a perfectly placed serve from...
Hyping up his guys with that ace.
It's exactly what the Knights need right now, some momentum to try and come back in this one. Down by 7 in a must-win set number 3. Humber has only lost 1 set all season. NC has to win 3 in a row here to try and get a win against the Hawks at home.
Well, right now, if you're Niagara, you just want to get into that 4th set, and anything can happen from there.
So out of the timeout, Perron will serve for the Knights. Back-to-back aces. Can he make it 3 here for NC? This time he's passed up by Gray Phillips. They'll go to the outside. Jaeger trying to find the line. Can't quite locate it. So NC again out of the timeout. Now cutting the lead down to 6.
One timeout remaining for Coach Wilkins. Niagara with none. Steve Stone had to use them all fairly early on, with the lead being as big as 12.
Perron again. They'll go to the outside. Jaeger blocked. Just out of play. And the Knights can't believe it. Steve Stone thought that one was in. And Humber finally sides out here, 18-11. Knights have willed themselves back into a position they can strike now on Humber. But not before Nazir Francis scores an ace, 19-11 now. If Knights are gonna go on a run, they need to do it now. Can't let Humber continue like this. Drummond with the pass. Perron will go to Takix. It was low, but he was able to work it off the block. So now this is when NC needs to turn it up here.
Well, you've got it down to 7, with Humber needing to get 6 more before their 7-0 start.
So here's first-year Jack Drummond This serve passed up by Gray Phillips. Hoyt will go to Niagara. Wow! Nathan Niagara out of the right side puts it down. He's now going to go serve for the Hawks. Pushing 5 here. Looking to sweep the Knights on the men's side as well. Niagara's serve just out. So NC catches a break here. 2013, it'll be Rowan Redekop serving. Hoyt. Jake Butt out of the outside, and Drummond was able to get that one off the attack. Humber will try once again. This time they'll go to Lonnie. He had to poke that one over. Perron, tactics, off the block. Lonnie has been so good at the net for Humber, and he gets another touch up at the net. And the Hawks 4 away now from a 3-0 set win.
Yeah, this is the Humber team that the rest of the OCAA knows a little bit too well.
Jake Butt's serve is overpassed. Humber will get a chance on offense now. Gray Phillips off the block, kept alive. Need to put it over at the stands, and Gray Phillips just couldn't keep it in play. NC able to win the point after a huge block from Riley Orr out of the middle. So here's Matthew Tactics. NC down 7 here in a must-win 3rd set. Hoyt, Gray Phillips, wow, just on the back line. And Humber just, whenever the Knights seem to maybe build a little momentum, they just kill the fire and respond right back. Now pushing 3 here.
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Here's Alec Alani. Tremblay passes a good one. Perron, tactics out of the back row, looking for touches. And it went up and out. Alec Alani looking to put this game to bed for the Hawks. Here's his serve. And ace, Tactics. Got a touch on it, but was leaning back the whole time. And Humber up 10 now with game point here. 24-14, they lead. Lonnie, serve, Drummond overpasses. Gray Phillips will take hands. Hoyt to the middle. Drummond able to keep it alive. Perron pushes it. Tactics off the antenna. And that will do it. Humber takes it in 3. And kind of a tough way to end it for the Knights after 2 very, very close sets. They lose here in the 3rd, 25-14. Pure domination from Humber in the 3rd set.
Yeah, I think Niagara probably did deserve a bit better, but at the end of the day, the better team won. And I believe that there's a lot to like for Niagara in this game. Probably should have won at least 1 set, and you can build off of that going in to your future matchups. These 2 teams will play off against each other on January 15th at Humber, which should be a great match. The next matchup for the Knights will be Wednesday, November 13th at Redeemer in Ancaster. And the next home game will be on November 23rd versus Cambrian, as we'll get a replay here of the winning play.
So like you said, Alex, the Knights will head to Redeemer for their next match. Well, Humber will go to play Mohawk midweek as they continue their undefeated start to the season. Now 7-0. The Knights drop to 500, 3-3 on the season. But like you said, a lot of good things to take away for NC in this one. Although they were swept 3-0, those 2 sets that they were really close with such an excellent Humber Hawks team. is definitely something they can be proud of.
And to your point, no, it is still early enough to the season where you can have those moral victories. But obviously, once you get later on into the season, there's no more moral victories.
As that last point from Tactics went out of play. And that was the one to finish the job. Humber comes away 3-0 here against the Knights at home. They stay undefeated. For myself, Noah Vogel, alongside me, Alex Vadenhack, we'll say goodnight. We'll be back next weekend when the Knights continue their season here at home.
Niagara College Ball.
Niagara College programs immerse students with a highly experiential learning environment enhanced by digital technologies. We place students at the center of all that we do. We are Niagara College.